I want to introduce our guest speaker today, who is not a stranger. He's been here before, the Reverend Dr. Gary Simmons. I met Gary, I started working with Gary in 2005, but I knew of Gary before that time because he would travel to New Thought churches all over the country, serving as a consultant for peacemaking and transitions in communities. And when I was the CEO of Unity Worldwide Ministry, he was on our staff. And he was really kind of the vice president that was the kind of the head research and developer about the direction of churches. And he had helped craft a pilot program that was used in 13 churches over a 3-year period to see what the best practices were for moving churches into the future. Since that time, Gary is continuing to do his research and development and seeing as we're going through one of the most significant paradigm shifts, I think, in temporary times, not only in the world, but also within our spiritual communities all over the country as well. And so I had brought Gary in to serve as a facilitator for a workshop with our board about 1.5 years ago. And he was bringing the latest and the greatest of what we can do to move our communities further. And now we've engaged him as a coach consultant to work with our board, with our staff, as well as the community as a whole, to be a model of possibilities of what a spiritual community can be. So he's kind of like our own church whisperer. So without any further ado, I'd like to bring in Dr. Gary Simmons.
All right, church whisperer. Thanks, James Trapp. That was his introduction of my talk that took place on March of 2018 at his church, and as he mentioned, he is participating in my Mission-centric Ministry coaching program. But I'm wanting to invite everybody, all New Thought leaders, anyone who cares about evolving their ministry, creating a more sustainable ministry practice, moving out of minister-centric ministry and into mission-centric ministry, a second-tier model of ministry. I'm conducting a monthly question and answer opportunity for you to simply ask questions based upon either what's happening in your own church with respect to your own efforts to deal with what's going on in the context of these chaotic times, or in response to your watching some of the videos that you may have seen on my YouTube channel, specifically The Inconvenient Truth about Minister-Centric Ministry, a new funding model for evolving out of not enough, and the integral membership system. So I just want to invite you to consider the monthly video conferences, and they'll be on a Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, whether at daylight savings or standard time. It'll just be 3 o'clock on the West Coast, and then you can figure out what time zone you're in and when it'll be. Now you need to email me, Dr. Gary at drgarysimmons.com, so that you can get an access login information for our Zoom conference. And also I'll be recording the conference, so if you miss it, I'll also be sending a link to our recordings to everyone who is on the list, everyone who's requested access. When you request access, please provide me, in addition to your email address, obviously I'll get that when you email me, but I'd also like to know who you are and what your role is in New Thought Ministry and what ministry you're currently affiliated with. So I have a sense of who our audience is. And so you're invited to our very first Mission-centric Ministry Video Forum, where we'll discuss transitioning from minister-centric to mission-centric ministry practice.